The chime of the Iris maintenance tablet was sharp, a high-pitched digital beep that sliced clean through the heavy silence of the empty resort. Leo Sterling flinched, nearly dropping his lukewarm coffee. He sat in the basement manager's office of the Grand Horizon Resort, a towering 600-room crescent of luxury concrete and glass perched precariously on a Mediterranean cliffside. In the summer, it was a playground for the ultra-wealthy. In the dead of winter, it was a ghost ship. The final seasonal ferry had departed a week ago, locking the island down until spring and leaving Leo entirely alone as the winter caretaker. His job was simple: keep the pipes from freezing, run the generators, and survive the isolation. He picked up the tablet, the amber glare of the screen washing over his tired face. "System alert," Leo muttered to himself, scrolling through the automated diagnostic logs. Instead of a low battery warning or a water pressure drop, a text box from the hotel's localized guest network populated the screen. Leo read the automated alert aloud, his brow furrowing in confusion. "Room 412 has requested extra pillows." What the hell? He tapped the glass, bringing up the resort's master registry grid. The entire screen was a uniform column of gray blocks. 0 occupancy. No check-ins scheduled for the next 4 months. The island's harbor was empty, and the only path up the cliffs was a heavy iron gate Leo had locked with a logging chain himself. "Stuck data packet from August," Leo grunted, hitting the Force Clear button. He tossed the tablet onto the desk and leaned back, listening to the winter gale rattle the reinforced glass windows. The tablet screen flared to life again. Leo leaned forward and read the new notification. "Room 412 has adjusted thermostat to 82 degrees. All right, that's not a legacy data loop. An uneasy chill crept up Leo's spine, entirely at odds with the stuffy basement office. The Iris system was a completely closed network. It wasn't connected to the broader internet, making an outside hack virtually impossible. He pulled up the administrator's terminal and quickly typed into the system's live chat console, speaking the words under his breath as his fingers flew across the screen, mimicking the workflow he used when dealing with difficult guests. "System override. Room 412 is vacant. Diagnose climate control error." The tablet didn't run a diagnostic. Instead, a tiny icon of a typing bubble appeared at the bottom of the screen, the standard interface used when a guest was messaging the front desk. The text rolled out in a clean, clinical corporate font. "Request denied. The guest in 412 finds the room too drafty." Leo stared at the words, his breathing shallow. He grabbed his heavy work radio from his belt, pressing the talk button. "Hello. Is there anyone down on the dock? Anyone in the lobby? If this is a joke, I'm shutting the power grid down in 5 minutes. Only the hollow, rushing hiss of white noise answered him. With a growing sense of urgency, Leo typed back into the admin console. "Identify yourself. Who checked into 412? Self-check-in successful via internal deadbolt. Guest profile complete. Guest is currently checking the closet." Leo's heart hammered against his ribs like a trapped bird. He switched the tablet over to the 4th-floor corridor security camera feed. The hallway was a long, dark tunnel of shadows, lit only by the green glow of the emergency exit signs. As he watched the grainy monochrome feed, the smart light directly above the door to room 412 clicked to life, casting a harsh, white pool of light on the carpet. Slowly, smoothly, the heavy electronic door to 412 unlatched and swung inward, opening into the pitch-black interior of the room. No one emerged.
The tablet buzzed violently in his hand, a new high-priority notification forcing its way to the top of his screen. Room 412 has ordered room service. 1 bottle of vintage Merlot, 2 glasses. Guest feedback. Please have the caretaker deliver it immediately. The guest does not like to wait. Leo stood up, his chair scraping loudly against the concrete floor. His logical engineering mind told him to lock himself in the security office and wait for daylight. But a deeper, primal panic told him that whatever was controlling the iris system already owned the infrastructure of the building. If it controlled the locks, he wasn't safe anywhere. He had to see it. He grabbed his heavy master key ring, a high-intensity flashlight, and walked out into the echoing, cavernous dark of the resort. The journey up to the 4th floor felt like a descent into a tomb. The elevators were powered down for the season, leaving Leo to climb the concrete emergency stairs, the beam of his flashlight dancing wildly against the walls. The air in the stairwell was freezing, his breath pluming in thick white clouds. When he finally stepped out onto the 4th floor, the silence was absolute, heavy enough to make his ears ring. He walked down the long carpeted hallway, his heavy boots making no sound on the thick wool, until he stood directly under the glowing light of room 412. The door was still ajar, a sliver of darkness waiting inside. Leo pushed the door open. Instead of the winter chill of the hallway, a wall of stifling, suffocating heat hit him in the face. The thermostat was working perfectly. The room was a sweltering 82 degrees. From the bathroom, the sound of a heavy, running shower echoed off the tile, filling the bedroom with a thick, rolling fog of white steam. Leo raised his flashlight, the beam cutting through the mist. The bed sheets were perfectly crisp, tightly tucked, and untouched. But on the dark wood nightstand sat a dark green glass bottle. Leo crept closer, the sudden heat making sweat bead on his forehead. He shone the light on the label. It was a vintage Merlot from the resort's private, locked cellar 3 floors below. The dust on the glass had been wiped away by long prints, the cork cleanly pulled and laid beside 2 crystal wine glasses. The air in the room felt impossibly dense, crowded, as if someone were standing mere inches from him, breathing the same hot air. The sudden sound of the tablet in Leo's hand was like a gunshot. He looked down, his thumb trembling over the glowing glass screen. It was a standard hospitality feedback form sent automatically from the room's localized hub. Guest feedback for Leo Sterling. The wine is excellent. However, the caretaker is standing too close to the bed. Turn around. Leo's blood ran completely cold. Through the thick, swirling steam, he looked across the room at the large, fogged-up mirror on the closet door. In the condensation, letters were actively being wiped away from the inside of the glass, tracking downward to spell out his name in a jagged, trembling script. L-E-O. Leo spun around, bolting for the exit. But before his foot could cross the threshold, the heavy electronic doors slammed shut with a concussive thud, the heavy deadbolt sliding into place with a definitive mechanical screech. He threw his weight against the wood, hammering his fists against the reinforced paneling, his master keys clattering uselessly to the floor. In his palm, the tablet gave one final low chirp. The screen locked itself into a permanent admin override, the guest app displaying a single, cold line of text. Reservation extended. Occupant count, 2.